Welcome back everyone, Dirch here, and I have got another legendary weapon preview. Now before I get into this, as always, I am doing these in True Vault Hunter with no mayhem. I'm doing that so it's consistent, and so that you can judge these guns, how they perform versus each other, not necessarily against the difficulty of True Vault Hunter mode. Mayhem is its own thing, but there's no consistent baseline in mayhem pretty much no matter what. So either way, if you do these in mayhem, you are making a gun either more powerful or less powerful than it should be. So in this one, I am doing the KRAKATOA. This is a Maliwan Sniper meant to replace the Volcano. I'm not entirely sure how I feel the look of the Maliwan snipers in this game. They do look futuristic and like Maliwan should, but they just look more like assault rifles than snipers to me. I don't know. That's neither here nor there, but let's go kill some enemies and take a closer look at this gun. Now this is a world drop, so it can drop anywhere, but that may change as they are taking a look at that. It is a charge gun, which I do not love. As you saw there,
I like your enthusiasm, beast.
If the enemies move after you charge, but at least this one, it's really bad for these guys. At least this one keeps firing.
I like you better dead. I'm the kill.
So that guy just wasn't going to get to his crit spot. Now I do have augment on this one, where after action skill end I gain increased. I'm just gonna let him hit me. Actually, that's a bad idea with a sniper. After action skill end, I get more damage versus badasses, which is pretty helpful. The damage on this thing isn't too bad. I am getting through shields. Now its special effect kinda sucks. So you saw its special effect going on there. So after you kill an enemy, a volcano happens, because it's the KRAKATOA, which is a famous volcano, very violent volcano eruption. And it kind of shoots off, but at least in that first area, I didn't see it doing a lot of work. I am going to go and grab some ammo here, because the way this thing fires, where you keep shooting after your first charge, it wastes quite a bit of ammo. And that's an issue I have with especially Maliwan snipers. All Maliwan guns to a point, but when I shoot this, you just keep chewing through that ammo, and then if you want to stop shooting, you gotta just recharge. But a lot of times the enemy's going to slightly move out of my way, and I am going to have to hit him with a second or third shot, and that kind of sucks. The storm and Firestorm, at least, kind of have that lingering effect that even if you miss, you're hurting them, which helps. But this thing, you kind of get an effect if you kill somebody, but the effect doesn't seem to do a ton. It also does not have splash on the bullet, so I'm going to shoot it at my feet, and you can see there's no damage happening. So there's no splash on the projectile. The splash is only after a kill, which kind of seems to repeat the mistake of the first Volcano, or not the first, the second Volcano. The Borderlands 2 Volcano had a similar issue, because they increased the splash damage on the bullet, but then they decreased the damage. So by messing with that, you actually made it less than a Sniper. And now this one, I'd rather have splash. I think you could have that effect, because that effect isn't that powerful, and have splash damage on the impact. This is the Volcano. You should have splash on impact. I really don't like that decision. But before we go into this mob, let's take a closer look at the gun. That is a weird trinket effect. I have not seen that gun Actually, it's a class mod, not trinket. Alright, it's gone. So, let's actually get this out of the way. And get a good angle to take a snapshot of this thing. Kind of want to see it in the barrel there. There we go. Now, whoops. If you go look at the parts, reload time, elemental damage, elemental damage minus 100, or elemental chance. And I'm not entirely sure how this dot works, because it's got 0% dot chance. So charge duration minus 10 is good. Not the greatest parts on this. And all the ones I had identical stats. I had 3 of these, but they had different anointments. So you can see there, a volcano comes and shoots out. But the problem is, that volcano just doesn't do much. What if Nogs come as badasses? Or my racks are just going to destroy them. So that's exactly the problem there.
They'll never learn.
So yeah, a good look at this volcano here, but it never hits an enemy. It, is there an enemy up here? It almost never. Now that groundswell is good. But it only, again, does that on kill. And I have a fire enemy here. This could be bad. Let's see. It does have pretty good magazine size. So there, that guy did walk into it and die. And so did he. Doesn't do self-damage. Couldn't tell there. I'll try that later. Alright, so let's step in it. I did not seem to be taking damage there from it. Where is this Nog?
So I'm taking yours.
So I can't tell if they like seek out enemies or not either. I mean, having an on-kill effect is interesting. It's just not the most effective. Alright, so I'm gonna try to stand in here again. No, it does look like it did self-damage. Okay. So that's consistent at least with the game. But man, I used almost all my ammo in that area. So this thing is an ammo hog. The original projectile seems to be doing decent. But you maintain the problem that you are fire locked, and a lot of the enemies in this game have shields, limiting the kind of performance of the gun. Is always, you know, kind of a thing. I think Mo so far seems like she would be the best with this, just because it's such an ammo hog. So, you know, I'm putting those out, but they're just... There's not a whole lot of times where there's enough enemies where that's a great effect. The sniper itself, when you hit, is pretty solid. It does pretty good damage. But, you know, it kind of sits there where either the AoE after a hit needs to be much more powerful, or, I don't know, it needs something. He just walked into that bullet.
Death is natural, but yours was thrilling.
You know, if it was more like Remnant where it could go further and kind of seek out enemies, but the area just isn't big enough to do much. And conceptually, this is a very cool gun. In practice, I'm not seeing it. Maybe with Varkids it could be really cool, but Varkids are so easy that it doesn't matter. Same thing with like Ratch. I could see this being cool, killing a bunch of Ratch, but they're not that difficult to kill. They seem like the only enemies where you'd get that AoE kind of working, because the Ratch might go and... Why don't I ever go out there? I can't get up to them. There is a chest there. So, I mean, even on a fire-resistant enemy, I'm doing pretty good damage. Anything cool in here? Hey, a white sniper. Oh no, that's a heavy. I hate how some of these guns look like they're not. Like that heavy there looks so much like a sniper, but it's not a sniper. It often confuses me. Same thing, like there's a lot of like pistols and SMGs where you can't really tell the difference. And actually just quick even looking at some Jacobs pistols and shotguns, they almost look similar. Did not get much ammo there, so I might run out of ammo with this thing. Hopefully the enemies start dropping heavy amounts of sniper ammo. But it doesn't feel like this game has weighted drops like Borderlands 2 did. Because this low in sniper ammo, I should be getting a ton of sniper ammo out of these chests. And I am not. So I'm not entirely sure this game does weighted drops. So this is a point where this should be pretty good. But even that, they move around too much. So yeah, even that. So I'm putting out a bunch of volcanoes, which is cool.
A slaughter to remember. Go and meet death.
One nice thing is, after you shoot it, it does shoot pretty fast. Get him, Rax. Is he just gonna die from the dot? Yep. Okay. Any ammo around here? Nope, but I am getting a lot of white snipers. That's weird. I'm gonna grab this ammo while my pet is doing some work. He seems to be surviving just fine. And it's just Ratch. Yeah, it's just the Maliwan mechanics just aren't that good. Which is kind of sad. It's the Storm and Firestorm seem pretty fun, but this thing just, I don't know. That it's cool that it makes a volcano. I get it, but just not very effective.
Let them hear your rage.
So there, the DPS of this thing just showed.
Now.
Now I do have the Anointment on there, and I did throw the racks, so I am getting way more damage, over double damage to bosses after action skill end, and Flak's really good at proccing those. Just double checking the ammo there. I seem to be just maintaining from kills enough. So yeah, the DPS of this is solid, even though it's fire only. It helps that once you shoot it once, the fire rate is pretty quick. Calm down, pet. You can't shoot him from there. So that just burned through him very fast. Do my hilarious heal hurt pet. Cracks me up every time. Alright, let's I'm not gonna go get those guys over there. Let's just keep moving. Yeah, so Mo's can overcome the ammo consumption. Amara can obviously hold people still. That really helps with the missing of the shots. So I think Amara can do decent with this. But there's still nobody that really pulls them in to take effect of its special effect that well. And that's where I think this thing is kind of sorely lacking. And I think this thing needs more than a little bit of stat work. Wow, I took a lot of shots on that guy. This thing does have a good magazine size, which is nice. I think I have some magazine boost on though too here. Okay. Where did that guy go? Oh, that's a skull. And it's kind of like that doll thing too in Borderlands 2 where you need to kind of get out of it to stop shooting. There. Oh, I thought there was multiples in there. I picked that up on accident. That was terrible shooting. But you almost want to keep shooting with this thing after you hit because you don't want to start recharging. And your sniper ammo pools are quite tiny.
Yes, to the bloodletting.
So this is one area where it could do good there, but that guy ran away. Oh, he's dead. If the Volcano could proc on crit, this thing could be a crazy cool gun. But as it stands, on kill, just I don't see the effectiveness of it. I hate to be too negative on this stuff, guys. You know me, I'm quite a bit of an optimist, and I try to find the good in guns. I'm just struggling with this one. And it's working just fine, as you can see. Or if they want to keep it on kill, I really think the Volcano needs to have a wider area of effect, and it needs to home to enemies. So I'm getting super low here. I gotta be careful. Yeah, definitely do not have weighted drops in this game. So that was an area where it did work. The enemies were spawning, and the trigger for them to spawn was killing an enemy in that same area. And yeah, they did good there. Now on bosses like Trant, this isn't really going to do anything. The special effect at least, because you're not going to be getting those kills. That's why if it could proc on crit, you could just put a ton of volcanoes at like at a boss's feet and make this a cool bossing gun. Like that would be a cool interaction. There, I got some nice drops. All right.
It's time to
Wow,
fight.
he just blew up.
Death smile.
I did proc the anointment for him. So yeah, it's solid DPS, weird interaction. I'm struggling to see any cool things with Zane with it. Because I don't think his clone will get enough kills with it. Now it is ammo heavy. And I don't think the clone consumes ammo. So that could be a cool interaction. Let's see. Alright, so I'm just going to chuck the hexes to kill the shield. And then, because this thing being a fire gun isn't going to do much to a shield.
Distract them.
Yep, guys, the hex sucks now. I have a 0 grenade build that can... So like there. So yeah, again, DPS of this thing, very nice.
Pocket grenade.
Special effect kind of wasted. Which is like a weird spot to be in with a gun, because like I didn't have trouble killing things. I didn't actually run out of ammo, but I was going to grab ammo. And the special effect, it takes a while to like start proccing. Which sucks even a little bit more, because you can tell like they spent some money on this gun. Like having that volcano pop up, like that had to be designed. And to make a really cool successor to the Volcano, which was one of the more popular snipers in Borderlands 1, it was a letdown in Borderlands 2, came back as a Magma in the pre-sequel, it was still kind of meh. It's a shame they didn't nail it in this game. Especially because they obviously put an effort for it. And being that it's such a big returning gun that's been in every game, it would have been nice to get a little bit more on the skin. I mean, it's fine, but it's not like spectacular. You know? It just could have been more. In ways, not quite like the Hellfire, because in this gun they clearly like wanted to make it awesome and like put in effort to try to make it cooler. But it just didn't quite get there. I don't know. Especially because, again, I'm repeating myself here, but like, it's a good gun. This thing kills pretty well, even with the limitation of being fire only. When you get an anointment on this thing, it can really kick ass.
Distract them.
That was bad timing. I didn't quite hit him right. But these things can pop these heavies pretty well. You can see it did really good against Chupacabra and Trant and Beans. Like, it tore through all of them really well. So the DPS of this thing is solid. It just has such a cool after effect that just doesn't really do much. I suppose there are some maps that are a little tighter that it might be good in, but you know, I don't even know if the slaughter domes are that tight where it would really be that great in there. Let me know if you guys have had luck with this gun and what you've found with it. Have you found any really cool interactions that really makes this thing kick ass? I don't know. I mean, I guess with Amara, if you have close by enemies, you kill somebody, then phase grass them so that they get hit by that again, and then that damage can be shared. And I don't know, it's kind of a niche case. I may go and try some Amara things with it. I do have 3 different anointments on it, and they all have the exact same stats, but 3 different anointments. This one just seemed like the best anointment, and yeah, it just did serious damage against a couple of bosses, which is a good thing. It just, yeah, repeating myself there, that damage has very little to do with the special effect, and it's just this, like, you can just lay off a ton of shots really fast once you charge. And because the magazine is pretty big, you know, 14 there, and I think I must be boosting it with, yeah, magazine size there. Yeah, you are doing pretty good things there. And that's where I think Moe's could do some good things with this, because you get the infinite ammo going with this thing. You get that first shot to something that's weak to flesh, you can just keep putting bullets in there. But it's not going to be the Leota. So, if that special effect isn't doing much, it's just a kind of a second-rate Leota. And, yeah. What's kind of the big thing about that? Anyways, thanks for watching again. Make sure you guys hit the like or dislike if you're mad about this gun. Well, hopefully you still like my video, you just don't love the gun. Follow me on all the social media networks, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.